Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fish Room Attic. I'm Jonathan, and today we're going to talk about lids. So if you're like me, a lot of times you get your aquariums for either free from a friend who's got it stored in a basement or a closet or a garage or whatever it might be, or you get them cheap on Facebook, or possibly you might get a good deal at $1 per gallon sale somewhere locally. A lot of the instances, those tanks are missing things. So because you're getting them that cheap, or free, they might not have a lid, and that leaves you to either go buy one or make one. Okay, so a lot of times you can get by cheaper by making your own, and that's what I did with this 120 behind me. This is a 5 foot 120 or 125. 120, 125ish. So what I did was I ended up having to make one because I couldn't find one that matched the dimensions that I needed. So I'm going to show you that today. I actually still have to cut it, but we're also going to go up. I need a lid. I had a 29 gallon given to me, so we're actually going to go and make one of those today. I'm going to show you how I make it, and hopefully that'll help you in the future with your tanks. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is the top of the 120, and if you can, let me see, maybe it'd be easier if I turn this light off. Hold on. So what I use is just a light paneling that I pick up from Menards. I think they come in like, I don't know, like a 3 foot by 4 foot, 2.5, 3 foot by 4 foot piece of this stuff, and it's pretty easy to cut. You got to kind of use caution with like a utility knife, because it can be a little bit tough, but just use caution when you're cutting it. So it's easy to customize. I've got mine, you can see, cut all around my piping, and as I said, I still got to cut this one to make a lid that will actually open when I need to. So like right now, it's kind of tough to get it up out of there because it fits pretty tight once you get it snug. But you can see it's thin. It's a plastic piece, and works really well for a lid. It's pretty durable, pretty sturdy, and holds up well. So, and it allows for, the light to pass through pretty easily. So, all right. So this is the 29 gallon shell dweller tank that we're going to put the lid on today. I've had to cut the lights down a little bit so it wouldn't glare as bad. I'm going to get some measurements on it. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you this real quick, is I just want a measurement from the inside of this lip to the inside of this lip, and then the same thing coming this way. That'll give us our measurement that we want. Alright, so I have everything laid out here. Got my tools. I'll go through what you need. What I'm using is, again, this light paneling that you can pick up at your local Home Depot, Menards. I got these at Menards. Wherever you shop at, I'm sure they've got these. It's just look in the light paneling sections. A couple other things you're going to want to have: a utility knife, scissors, and I found actually cutting across the ridges, the hacksaw seems to be doing good. You're going to want a marker, tape measure. And I use a level for the straight edge. You can use a board, anything that's going to be straight and give you that straight edge to get your lines cut straight. Also, what I'm going to use on this is some little hinges. I picked these up. I think they was like $2. Just some small hinges, and I'm going to use super glue to super glue those on. And you also need some sort of knob. This was just laying around my shop from some old cabinets. Again, very cheap. You can use anything that you want, that you have, old knobs, or you can use a bolt for all that matters. Just super glue, something to hold on to grab onto to lift the lid up. So I want to get everything measured out and start cutting, and I'll show you what I do as far as putting it all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, these things have a reflective kind of like a protective piece of vinyl or plastic, piece of plastic there on it. I'm gonna actually take off one side of these. I'm gonna leave the bottom side just to keep them from getting dirty and all scratched up. I'm gonna remove this top side. And the reason why is I'm gonna go ahead, since I'm putting these two together, what I want is this to be as straight and flush as possible, and I want this, before I make my, I still got to cut it down a little bit, but this is gonna, what it's gonna do is it's gonna want to move on me while I'm trying to measure it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and glue my hinges to this and let that cure before I make my cut this way, so that these don't move. It makes this one piece instead of two, I guess, at that point. What I'm trying to get at. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of mark where they're somewhat even anyways. I'm gonna mark 3 inches in on mine. There's really nothing about this. Just however you want to do it as far as making it even. I'm gonna come in 3 inches, and that should work well for mine. So tell you what, actually, I'll come in just a little further. All right, 5 inches in there, 5 here. Now I'm gonna glue. All right, so I had to kill the lighting again because the glare was terrible. So I've got it done. I want to point out a couple things before I slide it into place, but right here, if you could tell, I've notched out a little spot here. Obviously that is for the airline and the power cords. If you was gonna have a hang on the back or pipes or something, you would want to do it more like I showed you a while ago, where I cut out on the 120 for my pipes and stuff. Same thing with hang on the back. You just come in and notch what you needed out. But yeah, and it's pretty simple. So another thing that I should have done a little bit different is I should have probably made it a little bit wider. I actually did, and then I made it too wide and I cut it too short. If you can get it just right, where you have to kind of force it down on the backside, that's going to help hold this into place a little bit better. But as you can tell, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I mean, you can move it, but you're not going to want to set something heavy on it necessarily. But anyway, that's pretty well it. The hinges and the knob works really well. I can open it, and it shuts itself. Another thing I want to point out real quick, if you could tell here, I left the back longer, or bigger than the front, and the reason I did that is so that it would not, if I lifted the front up, the back had enough weight to hold everything in place, whereas if I did it the other way, this was probably going to move a lot. So there it is. Get the light set back on there, and we now have a lid for the 29 shell dweller, and I cannot wait to get these fish in there. Alright, so that pretty well wraps it up. I hope that was valuable to somebody. Hopefully it helps you with the 2 pieces I purchased, again, 11, 12 bucks a piece. I was able to build a top for not only this tank, the 120, the 29. I'm also able, if I got a few 10s, I certainly have enough for probably 4 10s and 2 20s, and depending on what size tank you have, I mean, there's still quite a bit of, there's 2 pieces here, still plenty enough to make some more lids. So for $22, make that many lids. It's a pretty big savings. I like that. So uh, if you've watched this far, I appreciate you watching. If you liked it, if you've gained some value out of this, I appreciate it. If you hit that subscribe button, give me a like, leave a comment. If you have any questions about what we've done here, if something wasn't clear, leave a comment. I'll be glad to answer it and help you out. Good luck to you. Watch your fingers when you're cutting this stuff, and we'll see you in the next video.